I'm Amber Antonelli, and this is Awaken Your Soul. I'm here with Matt, who's just finishing a retreat with us. It was so lovely to have you here. Really, really a pleasure. And you went for it like we don't see a lot of people do. So it was really amazing to watch.
Thank you. I feel very blessed to have met you and to have been here.
Thank
amazing.
you. Amazing.
Wow, yeah.
So what was your inspiration behind looking for this medicine?
So I was originally looking to do a detox, and that's what I searched for on the internet. I recently moved to Central America in Belize, and the last few years actually I've been moving around the world quite a lot, and it's disrupted. That movement has disrupted some of my normal practices like yoga, meditation, and things that I held very dear in my life, and it was bringing up the lack of practice was bringing up a lot of trauma for me. I was relying on alcohol a lot as a crutch to try and avoid contacting those traumatic feelings. So I thought a detox might be good. So I typed detox into Google.
Like a conventional detox is what you had in mind.
Absolutely, yeah. I wasn't looking for plant medicine at the time, and Iboga came up in the search engine, and I'd never heard of Iboga before, and really started then obviously researching Iboga and Ibogaine, and to see whether or not it could help with some of the issues from my childhood, and also help me try and address some of my alcohol consumption issues. So that's how I came to Iboga, through the wonder of the internet, really.
as we do. What was the? How did you decide between doing Iboga and Ibogaine? Because it's a very obviously Ibogaine is used mostly for detox purposes and doesn't have as much of the spiritual component as the Iboga. And so, what made you decide to come and work with Iboga instead of Ibogaine?
No, that's a really great question, actually. While I was doing my research, I was very uncertain about whether I should be really focusing on just the alcohol consumption issue, or whether actually I should be looking more broadly towards the trauma of my childhood, which ultimately has led
creating
the issue of me using alcohol as a crutch. And it was really only when I reached out to you and Anthony and had started having conversations via WhatsApp that I started really connecting, I guess, with the spirit of the plant through you, that was saying, if you're just going to address the alcohol-only consumption issue, you're not actually going to be successful, because you're not addressing the root cause of that problem. And I've been in therapy on and off for many years, trying to deal with some of the trauma of my childhood, and nothing had ever really worked.
So often the case for so many people.
Yes. There was I can only describe it as a very deep feeling from speaking to you and Anthony, that it just felt right. That's all I can describe it. It just felt good, that I should try it, although I was very scared when I was coming. But the idea of doing something that was deeply spiritual, that also then would address some of the alcohol issues, it just rang true.
It's like a 2-in-1, right?
For sure.
More bang for your buck, so to speak.
Oh,
there's so many people that spend tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars in conventional rehabs in their addiction career, so to speak, and often with very little success, because as much as there are other cognitive therapies involved in the detox programs, cognitive therapies only get into the conscious mind, and all of our programming is stored in the subconscious, which is 95% of the operating system. So that's why something like this is So powerful. So what was it like for you?
It's I think it's impossible to actually describe
it's
the
probably
actual.
a silly question,
It's what everybody asks. Yeah, it's impossible to actually describe the journey. I think it's more valuable for me when I'm explaining to others really what the end result of that journey has been.
Right.
Of course, and of course the journey is different for everybody.
Yeah.
So for me, I had absolutely no idea what to expect at first. I came in as one person, and I'm leaving as another. So it's been absolutely transformative.
We've seen it. Right? It's incredible.
Yeah, I don't know really how to thank the plant and thank you guys for guiding that. But what I managed to do during the 2 journeys that I did while I was here at Awakening Your Soul was it felt like I managed to shortcut. I'm 51 years old now. I managed to shortcut 41 years or so of trauma that I've held inside me.
From when you were about 10 years old.
From when I was
your
10.
Young childhood, yeah.
Yeah. My mother passed away at that age, and I was never able to grieve that, and I hadn't even realised that I was holding on to that grief until through the work and support of everybody that's here in the retreat centre and with the plant to actually have that realisation and then actually to move through it. So to find out where it's sat and really to let it go. And I can say that now, in letting it go, the actual feeling I'm left with is just this lightness. I have such a lightness in my body, in my soul, in my spirit, in my heart, everywhere. I feel like I'm flying. I feel like I can walk on air. And as I said, I've done therapy on and off for many years, and so I had an intellectual understanding of the trauma and the effect of that trauma, but having an intellectual understanding never actually managed to address the problem. So that's what Iboga has done for me. It's looked at that held trauma, not just through the passing of my mother, but everything that then surrounded that, the whole trauma within my family, really. Yeah. What else to say? It was so big and so beautiful, and I shifted so much. The fact that I now feel like I can accept love, that I've had physical blockages removed, some of the physical health issues.
Yeah, can you just mention that really quickly, because so many people are looking for release around physical ailments, and you had a lot of
really good point actually. That one of the drivers for looking at the retreat as well was I was suffering quite a lot with a form of arthritis, very severe form of arthritis called gout, and for the last year or so had been really just in incredibly deep pain, physical pain. I've been in times unable to walk, unable to use my hands. So I'd become very, very reliant on my wife. I couldn't even shower at some point. So it was very, very debilitating. And I was really at a point where, even though I hadn't really had suicidal thoughts, but I was so low because I just thought that this was going to never go away, because it's a chronic disease. I'm told that it's a chronic disease that can't be...
chronic.
Yeah. That can't be cured. That's what Western medicine doctors tell me, and I can assure you that it can be,
What did you discover was the driving emotion?
Yeah, so the driving emotion that I found that sits within me, that is the main cause of my arthritis, was anger. And that anger, what I found out, had stemmed from the fact that I hadn't released the trauma of my mother's passing.
And you hadn't been given permission to grieve,
yes,
right? So
correct.
all of that was...
Yeah, so that was all held, and I had never really realised that. Even though I realised that I had some anger control issues, I'd never really put two and two together that one may cause the other. And in now opening my heart, feeling a lot lighter, I've let go of the trauma. I don't feel the need to hold on to that anger anymore. That the actual physical pain is already going. I'm actually, when I came here, I was hobbling, and now I'm walking out, and
I noticed this
healthy.
morning how you were walking so fluidly.
Yeah. So it's not. Yeah, Iboga has done. It was a mental clearing, but that mental clearing has had massive effects on my physical anatomy. It's interesting that Western medicine doesn't look at Iboga, as a solution for, for the ails of modern society, because I know from my own experience that, with the right practitioners like here, Awakening Your Soul, that it can be transformative physically as well as emotionally.
Yeah, thank you for that. And it's not just that they don't use Iboga, it's that they don't place any value on the impact of our emotions in the physical body. They think it's all, just symptomatic.
Correct.
And that's really
have a pill and go away.
Yeah. And so in moving forward, one of the biggest messages that you got in one of your journeys was that it's going to take practice, right? So as much of a reset as you've had, you have to go back to life. And
I do. Unfortunately, or fortunately, because I actually feel ready for life now.
Yeah, exactly. But it's going to take just some consistent practice on all of our parts to continue to work with the teachings that we get and continue to release that anger, because I'm sure there will be things that make you angry, and you don't never want to be angry again for the rest of your life. Like some of it,
Of course.
Yeah.
It's a valid emotion.
Right.
It's just having the right relationship with it, of course,
exactly.
and not letting it control you. Anger controlled me for much of my life, and it would always manifest itself to the people I love most. Unfortunately, and then of course it gave me some very severe physical pain. But for sure, that there's a few takeaways on that journey that I was told, and one of them was letting go. And I'd never realised that something as simple as saying the mantra "Let it go" would allow me to, when I'm faced with challenges, that I don't have to take it personally, and I can recite this mantra in my head just to say "Let it go, let it go." And I think even when I need to address certain issues that might well have triggered anger before, I can do it from a different place.
Right.
So it's not to say that I'm just going to let everything go and let people do what they want and walk all over me. It's just about approaching it from a different place. So living from my heart space, that was something that I learned. Letting it go, absolutely. Let it go for love. This is my new mantra.
Let it go for love.
Let it go for
Yay.
love. And the practice piece, absolutely. I need to practice every day, and I think anybody that's really trying to live any meaningful life and find happiness needs some sort of practice, whatever that be. For me, the practice now would be a little bit of meditation, make sure I do a little physical exercise, maybe some yoga, make sure that I'm eating correctly, make sure I'm watching and reading the correct things when I'm involved with those sorts of media, And
putting good nourishing thoughts and media into your body, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Good foods.
But practice is, I think, really, really critical, because I know from having points in my life, having practiced things like meditation or yoga before, that they were very helpful. But now I feel very clear. I actually feel very excited to do those things. They don't seem like, before they always seemed like a bit of a chore. I've got to go to the gym, or I've got to go to my yoga lesson because I know it will keep me physically fit. But it was always, okay, I have to go. But actually now I'm excited and welcoming of doing those practices. It doesn't feel like a chore, because I can feel the benefit from doing this, but I can see the benefit that if I keep doing that this happiness and lightness that I currently feel today will remain with me.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's a practice for all of us on a consistent basis, right? To continue to embed the lessons that we learn, whether it's with plant medicine or just out in the world. Like every day we have to continue to remind ourselves what kind of life we want to have, what kind of thoughts we want to think, what kind of relationships we want to surround ourselves with. It's life is a practice.
Absolutely.
And I think the medicine just amplifies the information in a way that we can really see in a clear fashion.
Oh yeah.
Right? And removes all the crap that's in the way, so we really can see.
Yeah. It taught me also that I don't have to live behind a mask anymore, and that it's okay to be my authentic self. And that's really important, because I think a lot of my life I've lived thinking I need to be somebody, and I need to project that to feel safe, to feel accepted, really. So I want people to like me. I guess that's a very natural thing. But what I learned is that really for people to like and love me, I need to be authentic, which means that I need to take the masks off, and I need to stop trying to pretend to be somebody that I'm not. And if people like that, then that's great. The other great thing that I learned is that I don't actually have to have everybody like and accept me.
They're not going to like you anyway, no matter how many masks you put on. Not everybody's going to like everybody. So
that's correct.
Yeah.
But that was a real learning for me, actually, because I always thought that everybody had to like me. I was really a people pleaser. I would always try very hard, and I have to say most of the time it would fail though. As much as I tried, a lot of the time it would fail, because my method of communication was not coming from a place of authenticity. It was coming from a place of something different. And I guess people can see through it. I guess, because, as I said, it didn't seem to work for me. So being authentic, I think, is... it might sound very scary. It certainly would have if you'd said that to me before, but actually it just feels right now. It just feels right. Why shouldn't I be Matt?
Yeah, and we love Matt.
Oh, thank you
all your
so
mats.
much.
Yeah.
All my mats,
It's been such a pleasure to have you here.
I can't tell you what a beautiful journey.
Come back.
Oh, I'll be back, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Right. Vasi, thank you all for listening.
Vasi, namaste.
We love you. Bye. Thank you, darling.
No problem.
Give me a hug. Give us a hug.
Oh, look, the peacock thing.